Yo guys, Visionary here back with more Call of Duty Zombies content. Today's episode will be around Liberty Falls, arguably the best zombies map in Call of Duty Black Ops 6, with a super easy and fun to play map layout, as well as a nice and casual experience with the Easter egg being so simple to complete. This is episode 12 of the zombie series with my previous episodes, all linked in the description below. So on that note, let's get right into it. So I guess first things first, it's like a general overview. I'm just going to throw out there right away and get this off my chest. I think this map is super fun to play and a very underrated one to say the least. I know that's controversial. I've seen my fair share of negative comments about this map over the past year or so, and with people saying it's too casual, it's too easy, it's too simple, all of the rest. But at the same time, this map was literally designed to be a casual experience, making it an ideal choice for newer players to learn the game's mechanics and level up with the two maps at launch. It was almost a perfect way to set you up to play the more difficult map, which of course was Terminus, which by the way I'll cover in next week's episode, which I'm basically leading into the point now of playing all of the Black Ops 6 maps and juggling some older maps at the same time, leading right up into Black Ops 7, just juggling things like Black Ops 4 as well. So stay tuned in case you guys are interested and want to watch out for the sort of upcoming videos heading into Black Ops 7. Now back to this video, the issue in the past, and I'd say for a lot of players in the community to this day, is that we just don't recognize how many casual players there actually are in Call of Duty and also in Zombies. Like, I am a skilled player for the most part across all categories, Zombies, Warzone, Online, you name it. So I'm, of course, sort of trying to not be biased by any means, and I do appreciate there is a lot more going on in the sort of casual community. The people that don't maybe necessarily have a bigger voice because they don't use things like Twitter or Reddit or whatever, but there's so many people that like Zombies and play Zombies that we don't necessarily appreciate or consider when we're talking as a community about what maps are great, what maps did well, and so on like that. And this map, for example, did really well this year, and I'll get into it in a second with regards to how much it was played and all that sort of stuff. But there are so many players, of course, that don't necessarily play Zombies at the higher level. They don't play them for Easter eggs, and if they don't, of course, enjoy the experience of Zombies, then there's going to be less focus on it going forward, which we have seen in the past. And it's unfortunate because, as you all clearly know, and you're familiar with me in this channel, but more so this series, I am clearly not a casual player, having done all of the Easter eggs in the previous 11 videos to this point, or for any that are available to the series. For any newer viewers, the purpose of this series is for me to complete every main quest, aka Easter eggs, in each of the maps that I've shared along the way. For any map that, of course, has an Easter egg available. If it doesn't, then it's just me basically summarizing the map, playing it like World of War maps, and so on. But basically, that's the purpose of this series, and that's kind of the goal. So every map I sort of produce, I'm going to do the Easter egg and sort of share my experiences on that as well, because that's a large part on how I rank maps and how I sort of deem them worthy of a good sort of ranking. But at the same time, this map doesn't fall into that category. It's quite unique and almost falls into like a separate category of other maps in the past, which I'll go over throughout this video. Although a very simple and almost basic Easter egg, the map allowed players to find a good introduction into Black Ops 6 Zombies experience with the mechanics, the gunplay, all of that sort of stuff, and set the game up for a good year, in my opinion. It started off well, albeit I have mentioned so many times in previous videos that Easter eggs for me are a major factor in what drives my enjoyment of a map and ranking as well. But this map is an exception, as I've said. After all, grinding Nebula, there's something I did on this game, and this map is where I basically did most of it. I think I got the camo like right at the end of November, or no later than like middle of December. So I got the camo really early on, which kind of goes to show how much I definitely enjoyed playing Zombies in this particular game, but also this map specifically. And two, how much I enjoyed the map in itself, having the effort to want to actually replay this map over and over again. Although such a basic map, it has so much great sort of replayability, and I think just generally offers a bit more and above and beyond in certain areas. And then of course you do have the option to play Terminus from launch as well. So if you guys wanted to play a more traditional Zombies, and for the people, this is sort of named out the people that don't really like this map or have a lot of sort of negative things to say about it, they literally launched two maps at launch of the game with two different completely styled maps with a round-based traditional, more experienced. Terminus offers a more classic Zombies experience but experienced players, and after all, the map was always going to be more significant for hardcore zombie fans, as the location was literally teased in the final cutscene of Black Ops Cold War. So it's always a highly anticipated map going into this game, and Liberty Falls was more of like the casual one. Now look, I won't lie, I was one of the fans who disliked the look of Liberty Falls heading into this game, so I'm not a hypocrite. I appreciate this map isn't traditional by any means, and that's not what the map is designed for, and hence why we basically got two maps at launch, because that's the part where I think a lot of players don't recognize or at least appreciate the bare minimum. And look, it's no Kino, it's no Darice, classic all-time great maps without any Easter eggs, of course, and we're known for their more replayability, high round potential, iconic features and experiences. And similar to this game and map, it's not known for its Easter egg by any means. Of course, it has one, so it does have to count for something, but the replayability, of course, is so good on this map, and of course, where a lot of players grinding out that Nebula camo. Now, the controversial bit in this video, if not already where we're at this point, is where I would rank it all time. Now, although I've not got an exact number on where it ranks in terms of like 1 to 20 or whatever, because I've still yet to actually update my previous lists from like years back, and I'm still unsure on where Black Ops 6 actually ranks all time, but I do genuinely think that this map has either high B potential or low A tier potential, which I'm fully aware that makes maybe going to upset players or confuse players as to how this map even belongs there. But like I said, it's on my list, it's my list, so don't judge it. If you guys have any issues with that, please let me know down below. I'm interested to hear any feedback or opinions as to why it wouldn't necessarily rank there. And now, as I've said in previous videos, if we are all ranking off the same criteria, then obviously this map would change as to where I've ranked it. But seeing as I'm just basing off my own experiences, my own enjoyment, camo grind potential, high round potential, with even having an Easter egg, no matter matter how basic or simple, it still has to count for something. And all in all, I feel it's fair to rank this map around that sort of area. But as I've said, I'm definitely planning on doing a sort of updated tier list eventually once I've got around to doing all of the sort of maps in this series that I'm planning to do, and either want to play them again or try them for the first time, because there are some maps in the Cold War and Black Ops 4 DLCs that I never actually got to play back in the day for various different reasons, which I'll go over in future videos. Now, overall, in Black Ops 6, I would say this is definitely not the worst map and can be argued as the best map, although it's not the best map in Black Ops 6 in my opinion, which I'll go over in the video, of course, which for the episode comes out for the map I actually do think is the best, but it definitely can be argued as like one of the best maps, or if not the best, because I would say, considering it's the most all-time played zombies map of ever, I would say that definitely speaks volumes as to how many casual players clearly enjoyed it. But I'll discuss Black Ops 6 as like a summary or a final overview in a later episode, sort of leading into Black Ops 7 as a sort of finale on the final episode. As like I said, we're leading into Black Ops 7. That's the purpose of this series. That's the sort of direction I'm going at when a Black Ops 7 drops. That hopefully that's the point we're going to be at in the series, where we've got all of Black Ops 6 done and we're moving into Black Ops 7, so I can produce some content for present day, which will be the first time on this channel. Now, like I said, just on that, I think Black Ops 6 is very underrated in my opinion. Like, to be honest, I don't really sort of get why people are getting so mad about this game overall. Like, it has new gen mechanics with salvage, weapon variants, new perks, and all that sort of stuff with the augmentation, which I actually really like. I said it in my Cold War episode in episode 7 for D Machine, when it sort of reintroduced that sort of new overhaul. I actually quite like it. I don't necessarily mind it. Of course, I do like classic zombies. I'm an OG. I was from World at War days. I played right from the start, and I appreciate there's so much things going on with regards to change and how that's upset people. But also, there's like lots of traditional round-based features that have come back into the game and mechanics. And I think that has to count for something, because if a game never changes, then people just constantly complain about how it's the same thing every year. And then on the flip side, anytime a game does make any change, regardless how big or small, people then moan about change. And it's like, how can they win? And I get it. It's because Treyarch will never be able to please everybody. But with this game, they definitely both surprised and pleased me with the map quality. Not all, of course, but there's definitely some features or maps that aren't to the right quality, maybe. But we'll discuss that again in future videos when those sort of episodes come out. Now, I've digressed slightly from where I wanted to talk about. As for the map layout in itself, like, I just wanted to sort of summarize Black Ops 6 in its entirety, and sort of Terminus and sort of Liberty Falls, the launch, of course. And then going forward, I'll sort of talk about the actual map itself. I really like it. I think the map layout is really good. You basically have like 7 or 8 main areas on this map where you can basically train or spend hours camera grinding, or just explore in more detail if it's, of course, your first time playing in this map, or of course if you're casual and new to zombies. From the spawn area, the gas station, to the comic store area, to the rooftop, to the main street outside the bank, you have the back gardens up top where the house and the shed is. You basically have the church, the graveyard, and the bowling alley, all fun and unique areas to enjoy this map. And I think this map offers great high round potential, and I think the highest round I probably attempted or successfully exited at was like 56, which was definitely difficult, but definitely super fun at the same time as well. Didn't feel too long-winded, camera grinded the whole way through it, and then got out on a I think I was playing with just one other friend. It was my cousin, and we basically just got to 56 and decided that this was the point with the super sprinters, that we might just want to call it a day and just call out. But I would like to have known how far I could have actually maybe have gone, but maybe I'll have to do that in a future episode. We'll have to see. And then, of course, we have the wonder weapon on this map, which is definitely awesome. The jet gun returning was a cool surprise. Definitely fitting in terms of the nature and the sort of theme of this map. Although I didn't really use it that much, considering I spent majority of the time when I was playing on this map camo grinding, getting Nebula. It's definitely a great wonder weapon, of course. And, of course, you do need it for the actual Easter egg, with 30% of basically being the Easter egg in itself getting the jet gun. And then once you get the jet gun, you pretty much can start the Easter egg fully, which, as usual, involves you having to open up the entire map and turn on the power. You then have to activate the machine in the church, watch the little spirit of Panos, or just leave him to it whilst he appears, and then you can start and collect the jet gun, collect the 3 arms around the map with the jet gun, and then build the LTG. And then you need to obtain the ether canister, place it down at spawn, protect it for a minute, and then an elite zombie or mini boss basically spawns, which is really cool. I like that in this Easter egg, that there's like 2 mini boss fights before the actual main sort of boss fight. And then effectively you have to wait a minute, wait till the elite zombie spawns, take it over to the dark ether field generator, the trap at spawn, kill it and collect its soul, and then take that canister back to the church. You then need to obtain the hacking device, use it to link the 3 devices with this, like the color coordination, the red and the greens and the yellows. And then once linked, you then need to collect the new canister from the spawn outside the gas station, take that up to the main street, repeat the same LTG step again in the graveyard, and then once you've obtained another sort of elite zombies mini boss soul, you then take that canister back to the church and you're on the final steps. Like I said, it's a really quite basic and simple and easy to follow Easter egg. Like I said, for the most part, and the whole way throughout this video, it's a casual experience, so it had to be designed and made it easier for sort of casual players in order to take part and maybe build on that journey, and of course obtain new fans of the franchise. That's the part I think we're forgetting. There's players who used to play back in the day from World at War like myself, who have no longer played Call of Duty and no longer have any interest in it, and there's also players that, of course, that have just come into Call of Duty that need to buy into it and need to be able to do Easter eggs for the first time, because when I played back in the day, doing Easter eggs like Ascension and Shangri-La and Moon, they were proper hardcore, and I get that. Being around in that community at that time, figuring these things out without even using things like YouTube, you had to figure these out from game chat and find random like-minded individuals who are on board and understood how to do Easter eggs. That was so difficult back in the day, and you had to be a dedicated hardcore fan to be able to do them. And like today, a lot of players just just don't want to do that. And I do get the frustration part because some of these Easter eggs are just really too basic. But at the same time, there is like a sort of a passing of the torch moment going on, and I guess there are newer fans that need to be able to try and do these Easter eggs, and of course not make it too easy. And then of course they did bring out the directed mode, so you can argue that directed mode was to help players who want to do Easter eggs on their own. That sort of aspect of it. But I guess at the same time, this Easter egg was not too difficult by any means, and I get that there's frustrations with the Easter eggs in this game overall. Other than Citadel and maybe Shattered Veil, like the Easter eggs itself weren't that difficult. I really liked Terminus as well, but again, we'll get on to that in the next episode. But for this one, the overall experience of the map was really enjoyable, and this little mini boss fight at the end was pretty cool. Seeing yourself sort of get betrayed and then die was just almost like quite emotional, but not really, because you don't really have any attachment to the characters. But the overall experience of this map was really cool, and I love the fact that at the end of these Easter eggs in this map, you get the little offer, basically the chance to play again or carry on playing on or exit the game. And if you play on, you get this new little feature where you get to collect all of the most ridiculous amount of loot on the floor, upgrade your guns to pack 3, get the sort of gold variants, and then move on and continue with your game. And as you can see in this gameplay, you get rewarded with these features, and you get to actually embrace it and just play on for a little bit, as much as you want, of course, for enjoying the actual Easter egg and sort of the hard work paying off. I like that feature. I don't necessarily like the fact that some maps just end, and it feels like you spend hours doing a map and you don't get to play on after. Sometimes it's not that big a deal because some of the maps you just want them to end anyway, but for the most part, I do like the option being able to choose between the two. But overall, I think this map is amazing. I've alluded to all throughout how much I enjoyed this map and think sort of where it ranks all time. Definitely a higher tier map than where people necessarily in the community rank it, but you guys have to let me know down below on what you guys think of this map all time and whether I'm ranking it too highly or being too generous or whatever it may be. But we'll look out for more content and Black Ops 6 going forward on this channel. If you guys have enjoyed the video, as always, do not forget to like and subscribe and comment down below if you have any issues or any comments or thoughts about this gameplay, or if you have any suggestions on future videos that you want to see on the channel. Let me know down below in the comments and I'll get right back to you. I'm reminisce. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.